Jair Ventura Filho, better known as Jairzinho, is a retired Brazilian footballer. A quick, powerful winger, he was a member of the legendary Brazilian national team that won the 1970 FIFA World Cup, during which he scored in every game Brazil played. In doing so, he became one of only two players, the other being Alcides Ghiggia, in the history of the World Cup to have scored in every game of the tournament, and was thereafter nicknamed as the Hurricane. He was listed at number 27 in World Soccer magazine's list of the 100 greatest players of the 20th century, one place ahead of Zinedine Zidane. Due to the economic and political situation of the time, as well as the sport legislation, he played most of his club football in South America, where he spent 11 years at Rio de Janeiro club Botafogo. He went on to play in Europe during the final years of his career, a common pattern for South American players until the 1980s, when the economic and political situation changed. Jairzinho replaced his footballing idol Garrincha in both the Botafogo and Brazil teams, and played in 3 consecutive World Cups, 1966, 1970 and 1974. Biography. Jairzinho was born in Rio de Janeiro, where he went through the youth set-up at local club Botafogo. He made his professional debut with the club as a striker at the age of 15. His hero Garrincha, whom he would eventually replace for both club and country, also played at Botafogo, albeit in Jairzinho's preferred position on the right wing. This resulted in Jairzinho spending most of his early games playing on the left wing or as a centre-forward. However, he would fill in as a right winger, by far his strongest position, when Garrincha was injured. He made his international debut as a 19-year-old in 1964 against Portugal, again when Garrincha was injured. He played in the 1966 FIFA World Cup in England, however, and with Garrincha back in the side, he played as a left winger. Jairzinho struggled to be effective in this position, and he couldn't prevent Brazil from exiting the competition at the first round, when after the tournament, Garrincha announced his retirement from international football. Jairzinho finally took over his idol's role for Brazil on the right wing. Now in his favorite position, Jairzinho became a far more effective and consistent performer for country. At the 1970 FIFA World Cup in Mexico, Jairzinho was one of Brazil's star players, and made history by scoring in every game for the Seleção, for which he received the epithet Furação da Copa. He scored his 7th goal of the tournament in Brazil's 4-1 World Cup win over Italy in the final. However, his impressive goals tally at the finals were not enough to win the Golden Boot, which went to Germany's Gerd Müller, who scored 10 goals. Jairzinho has claimed that FIFA awarded him a Best Body on the Planet prize for his athleticism. However, FIFA has no record of this award. Following his display in Mexico, Jairzinho moved to Europe to play for French side Marseille. However, he struggled with Marseille and soon returned to Brazil to play for Cruzeiro, with whom he won the Copa Libertadores in 1976. The Cruzeiro team at the time included the likes of Nelinho and Dirceu Lopes. Jairzinho scored 2 goals in the 1974 FIFA World Cup, which would prove to be his last World Cup for Brazil. The third-place final was his last match for Brazil until he was given a one-off farewell cap against Czechoslovakia on March 3, 1982 in a game which Brazil drew 1-1. He scored 33 goals in 81 games during his international career. Jairzinho finished his career playing for Portuguesa in Venezuela, making it one of the greatest teams in Venezuelan history, helping Portuguesa win a record 16 games in a row and the fourth of 5 championships. After retiring as a footballer, Jairzinho became a coach and managed a number of youth teams in his native Brazil. He also worked in Japan, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. In 1997, Jairzinho began his first journey as manager in Europe, being appointed at Greek Super League club Kalamata. He was sacked due to poor results, his side relegated at the end of the season. Jairzinho was named head coach of the Gabon national team. However, he was sacked by Gabon's Football Federation after a crushing defeat against Angola in a World Cup 2006 qualifier held in Luanda. Perhaps his greatest achievement as a coach was spotting Ronaldo as a 14-year-old whilst he was coaching São Cristóvão. He kick-started the career of the future 3-time FIFA World Player of the Year by recommending him to Cruzeiro, his former side, and the Brazil youth team. Jairzinho is currently the manager of Esporte Atlético Futebol Clube, a team based in Cabo Frio, Rio de Janeiro state who play in the Campeonato Carioca. Honors: Brazil, FIFA World Cup, Taça Independencia, 1972, Botafogo, Torneio de Caracas, Taça Brasil de Futebol, Rio São Paulo Tournament, Campeonato Carioca, 1967 and 1968, Cruzeiro, Copa Libertadores da América, 1976, Individual, FIFA World Cup Silver Boot, FIFA World Cup All-Star Team, South American Player of the Year, World Soccer, 27th Greatest Player of the 20th Century, IFFHS Brazilian Player of the 20th Century, Brazilian Football Museum Hall of Fame.